Margaret. Mustdie. My big brother Charlie hissed those letters to me as our fingers glided over the Ouija board. And then he repeated it. He said, "Margaret must die." And he added, "Tonight." Well, we were sitting on the floor in his third-story bedroom. We'd finished a family meal. We'd gone upstairs. We had closed the curtains against the street lamps to shut out most of the light. We could just barely see the Ouija board, but you could have seen my eyes bugging out of my 8-year-old head. I could not believe this. I said, "Charlie, were you cheating?" He's like, "Margaret, I do not cheat at the Ouija." And I believed him because I'm the baby of the family. I'm the fourth kid. I wanted to be in his world. I was always willing to believe him. Now, almost 50 years later, Charlie is one of my heroes. Not so much back then, when it seems that his job or his life's calling or his great joy, at least, was to mentally torture his baby sister. Like the next year when we were out walking in the schoolyard barefoot and I stepped on something very sharp and I looked down and Charlie looked down and he picked up a nail and then he looked at my foot and he said, "Margaret, you might not get gangrene, but you're going to get lockjaw. And in a few short hours, your jaws will clench shut. You will not be able to open your mouth. You will not be able to eat. And you will die. Tonight." Now, I'm 9 years old. I do not know to say, wait, it wasn't a rusty nail. It didn't puncture my skin. And I was a very chubby little girl. You cannot starve to death in one night if you're as chubby as I was. And the next year, when our family went to visit relatives who had moved from Chicago to rural Virginia, they had bought this big house. And I'm the little one. I have to go to bed earliest. I'm in the 8 o'clock club. Thanks, Mother. And I'm going up this big staircase. I'm crawling up this staircase, and I hear Charlie at the base of the stairs, "Margaret, you know you're sleeping in the bedroom where a Confederate soldier died." I did not know that. And he said, "The ghost of that soldier is going to come back and kill you tonight." Okay, it didn't help that in my family there was this big rule about not tattling. It was the mafia code of silence for the Davis family. So I never told on Charlie. And since I didn't tell on Charlie, my parents couldn't tell him that it's probably not nice to torture your baby sister. So for my whole life, for years, this incessant, apocalyptic prophesying of my imminent and far too young nocturnal demise. That was all I knew. I thought that was normal. So who knew that Charlie would change as he got older? But he did when I got into high school, and I got very into boys. And when boys started to get interested in me, Charlie changed from being the dark angel of death in my life to my sibling in shining armor. I would call him before I was going out on a date, and he would say over the phone, "Margaret, I swear to God, if this boy even so much as touches a hair on your head, I will find him and he will die tonight." And I loved that my big brother had my back. And in the dozens of years since then, I have seen he has so many people's back. But never more than when he and I were caring for my mom at the end of her life. We were absolute partners, and it's day in, day out, it's exhausting. And at a certain point, Charlie just wrapped me in this big hug, and he said, "Margaret, reread Shakespeare's Band of Brothers speech." And I did, about the privilege of giving everything you have for something you love so much, alongside a beloved brother. So this one's for you, Charlie. Draw the curtains, have a seat on the floor. BROILOVEYOU. Thank you.